Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, of course, congratulations and welcome to our NUI event. Every Tuesday, we get together and we talk about the things going on in NUI Nation, and we're pretty excited. Of course, tonight we have a couple of things we're going to be covering. The Ant Miner, of course, for those of you who weren't on the last several calls, we just want to keep you up to date. The Ant Router mines Kala, the Kala coin wallets are up and running. Education's coming soon, which we'll talk about. We're going to talk about focusing on the opportunity tonight. There are some incredible things. We shared the presentation several weeks ago. Of course, it's been update for the last 2-3 weeks with all the changes in the back office. But tonight, we're going to do the presentation again. We're going to talk about the opportunity. We're going to talk about Premier membership again, just sharing some of the things going on there. And of course, remind everybody to go to the blogs and the social media at NUI Nation to kind of figure out, what's going on. There's so many cool changes and things happening all over the place. So, Jim, maybe let's just talk about the first item on the agenda. Ant router.
So you talk about the Ant Router. Everybody now that is coming into the business and either if they're a member and they start out with a $500 3-year unit purchase, they get an Ant Router. And what I want, a lot of people that are techie guys says, that Ant Router doesn't mine Kala coin. No, it doesn't. That one actually doesn't. But what they're doing is they're transitioning what they're mining through that into Kala, and you can expect between 375 and 525 Kala coin monthly. So what that does, Casey, is it gives everybody at every level, and I hate to say little guy. I'm going to say rookie to professional. That's where I'm going to place it. And when a rookie comes in and he just wants to get started, that Ant Router would mine him some Kala coin in addition to be part of the decentralized network.
Right, of course. And this is an important piece of the puzzle on the global theme of what NUI is all about. The NUI Nation is trying to expand itself into the largest decentralized network in the world. And this is just one of the pieces of the kind of the puzzle that makes up that decentralized network. So when you register, you get yourself set up with your NUI membership, and then, of course, set yourself up to be active with your Mintage mining account, you get one of these Ant Routers. And we're just pleased and happy to get everybody started with 375 to 525 worth of Kala every month just to get everybody into the game. So this is what it looks like when you sign up. At the end, we're actually going to be doing a recap on this, but you'll remember that every time you sign up in these areas, whether it's a $150 membership, a pro membership, an elite membership, or an executive membership, every one of them include an Ant Router to get everybody on the same place. And we expect you to go home, plug it into your internet, and of course, plug it in the wall, and obviously participate in us decentralizing the network, because I think that's an important piece.
Casey, are we going to talk? Is this the part we're going to talk about the membership parts, or we're going to do that later?
No, we'll do that at the end.
Okay, great.
Let's do that. So one of the things that we really want to encourage you to do, if you have not gotten to your new Kala wallet, for goodness gracious sakes, please get there. In fact, the Kala wallet is up. It's running. Please go and register your account. Get yourself set up. It's the same address as same email as your NUI account. And then, of course, transition over, get yourself set up with a password. And then you are going to have your very first cryptocurrency wallet that's not, if you may already have a Bitcoin wallet, but you'll have a new cryptocurrency wallet, which of course would be Kala. As you know, the vision of NUI is to be everything blockchain. And this is a piece of the blockchain. And one of the things we're really excited about, obviously, Jim, is the idea that people can actually transition Kala from their mining rig into an actual Kala wallet. And we actually we had the pleasure of doing that today, didn't we?
Yeah, it was nice. And you know what? Those of you that have Kala rigs that are mining Kala, they're amazing. I mean, we looked at our totals today and it's like, oh my gosh, even at 2 cents, it's a lot of money. And it's very worth it. Those of you that understand that, it's part of the whole process, because when you look at blockchain, you look at what NUI is doing, and you look at, now here's the biggest part, you look at what we're doing in the United States of America, in North America, following compliance. I mean, we're the first to market in this arena, case from everything what we're offering to the Kala coins and everything in the U.S. And it is very, very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Jim, that's a great lead into the fact that really the opportunity is now. So Jim said, maybe tonight what we should do is just go through a brief presentation again, and I'm going to run through this. It's a little bit shorter version of this. And again, this is not the official presentation yet. This is just the one that we're preparing. Eventually, we're going to have one that we can actually load up on the site. You'll be able to download it and make it available. But this is the message that we have for the NUI Nation right now as far as opportunity. First of all, NUI's been around for a number of years, introducing revolutionary products. NUI's vision is to help everyone understand blockchain. They really created a profit center with their core platform, which of course spread out very quickly around the world. 300,000 plus members started using their core products, doing the social media transactions and all kinds of activities to get themselves set up in that space. And then in October, they introduced cryptocurrency for the first time. In fact, they brought in their own Kala coin and of course established themselves in the space of cryptocurrency. And what I think is so amazing about where NUI is at right now is that they're really poised to build and establish the largest decentralized blockchain network in the world. This will drive the value of Kala up. This will drive all the transactions that everybody's committed to in the social network. And of course, for me, I'm grateful that we're actually introducing blockchain as a company to the world at large through all kinds of education, through mining rigs in their homes, etc., and through the partnership that we have with Mintage. And that's really where we're kind of at tonight. Mintage has created the perfect storm. They've done a partnership with NUI. We're the exclusive for them. And Mintage is kind of like a unicorn in the world of cryptocurrency. What they've really done well is that they've made cryptocurrency mining easy. And that's really the thing that was most interesting. As Jim just said, legal, compliant, safe. You can learn how to mine Bitcoin, very little experience. You can get involved, watch how it works. There's a lot of cool things that go on with this. And of course, what Mintage really has done is said, hey, listen, when we got started with our 3-year contracts, obviously back in October, all the way to present, we're running an average that runs around a 193. Again, because of the systems we've been preparing to implement, this is the time to get active. Now, the reason why Mintage is special is because they have something called right coin, right time, right technologies, and they're able to auto switch their mining units in real time. That's one of the benefits, Jim, of being a part of NUI and specifically our mining rigs, the Kala coin, our partnership with Mintage. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And guys, when you have that relationship and that collaboration with Mintage Mining, and then you have an owner of Dave Childs, the guy is a genius in this industry, in his space, and he's fearless. And he's not only is Mintage, we're proud to be in not partnership but in collaboration with them. They're recognized around the world. Case they have relationships with all the big mining manufacturers. They have relationships with everybody around the world, to Iceland, to Russia. Dave is brilliant in what he does, and when he came up with this, that means the machine is more versatile. You're not just getting a machine that is just going to mine Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin. It is versatile, and he can go on the fly.
Yeah, and that gives us so much better opportunities. As you can see here down, if you look at it, these are the algorithms they're using. These are the new types of coins they're looking at. And all they're doing is literally a right coin, right time. As you know, there's certain times to buy certain coins to produce certain results. Well, of course, during their initial tests back in November, December, they were able to average 3% month over month in October, November, December, and able to produce these significant results because of batch size. And now with the NUI Nation kind of coming back together, we've got a great offer. You're going to see it here just shortly. We've got all the new subscription programs. We've got the product in place. We've got the education program coming. We've had core and all the other places in place. The key now is to increase the batch size so we can increase the results that we see each week. So Mintage Mining is a company that's mining in many different coins, but they pay in the cryptocurrency of Bitcoin, which, of course, as everybody knows, is the gold standard. It's the largest cryptocurrency in the world. And, of course, that's what you're going to be receiving in results as you participate with NUI and specifically with Mintage Mining. So when you get involved for the first time, you're going to get a dashboard at Mintage Mining. It looks just like this. And the hash rate units is what you're purchasing. You're purchasing something called hash rate units. That's computing power. And you're going to be receiving a percentage result, which is paid to you in Bitcoin. You can see it down here in this section right here. It pays to you every week. And the minimum start to get involved is $500 US funds or 500 units. And we'll explain that in the next slide or so, but it just shows you that this is what the dashboard is. This dashboard gets you set up so that you can start mining and making results. So the core concept here is growing your account size. So our objective is to help everybody who's in the NUI Nation get themselves to grow their account and make it as large as possible, because they start creating results in Bitcoin. And of course, the larger your account is, the more results you get. And that's what we want for you. Now, there are 5 ways to grow your account. The first one makes sense. It's just personal funding. The second one is what we call rebuys. You'll see it from weekly profits. The third is something called commissions, which we're going to talk about in what we call the personal enrollment, or the TBS, the team building system. Then we have a fourth one, which is a call of mining rigs, which we mentioned earlier, which were part of our Bitcoin, our blockchain vision for everything. And then, of course, something called the Account Accelerator Program. This is a third-party vendor that's been so excited to support all the people in NUI. So let's just review these really quickly, Jim, and we can jump into how we can help people really make some money and really have some success with it. So first of all, the mintage mining units are $1 per unit, and the minimum amount you can purchase to make your account active, so this is a one-time initial purchase to get yourself up and running, is 500 mining units. Now, once they're up and running, you start to receive results on those 500 mining units, and you do so for over 156 weeks, 3 years, so it's pretty good. Once the account is active, it only requires a weekly minimum of 100 units to keep that going. So again, we realize this is a slightly larger commitment, but again, the results here, when you see the math, you're going to go like, wow, this is really a very powerful return and result. So currently, with an approximation, we just use the approximation that's posted on the Mintage site, you can expect around a 193 return weekly. The expect is 300% over the 3-year contract itself. And so at the end of it, you can expect that you've got yourself some in the neighborhood of a 300% result. Now, these results will go up and down, and they will fluctuate according to batch size, but currently that's the track that we're on if we take for the company from its inception. So funding your account is simply purchasing mining units, and you get to select how many you want, the minimum being 500 to initiate, and then you receive Bitcoin for 3 years as results. Now, let's focus on the idea of your funds and then the ability to kind of keep going in what we call rebuy. Jim, any thoughts?
Yeah, when you talk about this, Casey, one of the nice parts about that, when you initially, this is the initial 500 units, and then it's 100 units per buy. And you don't have to do it weekly. You can do it anytime. You can do it monthly, anytime you want. But with that 500 units, you get that ant router. So that initial comes in, that ant router comes in. So not only are you making a percentage or a result on your mining units, you're mining Coin. So everything you do, the design of NUI is to be cryptocurrency blockchain, but actually have everything that is in your home that you're participating in is either creating a decentralized network, creating value for Coin, mining Coin, creating income for your family. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's giving people returns in results in a cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. So amazing. So a couple of things, again, we encourage you to do all the research. We're not recommending, we're telling you what you should or shouldn't do. We're just stating here what's possible. Now, rebuys are about taking the results that you receive weekly and considering maybe purchasing more mining units with those purchases. Now, we've shown we're just going to show a basic structure here, which is if you receive Bitcoin results in your account every week, then you could use what we call a cryptocurrency compound. You can go on the internet, there's many of them that you can check out. But if you were to actually put in how much cryptocurrency you wanted to compound each week, you could do some planning. And what we did was we said, well, there's many different amounts. Again, we're just going to use a couple of examples here. But we just want to mention from Jim and I's perspective that there's what we call risk tolerance. So real quickly, there's 4 levels of risk tolerance. First, really, there's where you rebuy 1 week, withdraw 3 weeks, or the opposite is that you withdraw 1 week and you rebuy 3 weeks. So we're just going to use that as an example. Let's assume that you're trying to hit a home run. You want to grow your network out. You're not willing to go all in, but you're also willing to take a little bit of risk. What would happen? So we just, for quick purposes, again, the calculators are available on the internet. You can do your own calculations. But what we've discovered with a 75% risk tolerance, if you had $10,000 10,000 mining units, really creating results over 3 years, what would happen is that you would withdraw 28,000 the first year from those original 10,000 mining units. And at the end of those 3 years, you would have 83,000 still working for you, giving you a compound of 3 years plus the 3 years at the end of it. The 10,000 mining units would create results at approximately 280,000 mining units, obviously, in the combined 3 year total, which is 3 years plus the final 3 years for withdrawal. So again, these numbers speak for themselves. You can do your own math. This is just some quick calculations, but this is what we've seen if we use the conservative numbers on a 75% risk tolerance. Jim, any thoughts?
Yeah, and remember, guys, and I always tell people that I'm kind of the naysayer or the devil's advocate. It could go down, too. This is based on 1.3%. It could go to 1%. It could go to 50%. It could go on 50%. It could go to anything. What we're doing, and this is so cool, I'm going to kind of pre-launch what we're getting ready to talk about. The brilliance of a vintage mining collaboration is that David is giving us the latest and great as this is, we are going to have offerings that are going to be even better and better and better, bleeding edge, not cutting edge, bleeding edge things. So just know that when you look at something like this, this is the best offering that we had, and we have another one coming up, which is absolutely brilliant.
Right, of course. So, Jim, all we've talked about so far is that we've really only talked about your personal funds, and then taking those funds and with the returns results that you've got, you've rebought. One of the things we're going to talk about now is the power commissions, and I have to tell you, even when you take a look at this, it gets quite exciting, and I'm very grateful to be a part of NUI and certainly the power of what they've got, because they've got probably one of the best comp plans in the world, Jim?
Yeah, and I want to say something. I'm looking at the chat room, and they're saying, "Why do you use 1.3%?" Because we're taking it on a 3-year thing. They said that the returns have actually been lower in the last several weeks, and they actually have. There is actually a time in the last 3 or 4 weeks that there are the biggest mining companies in the world paid zero. They went in a hole. Their cost of mining were bigger than their mining. And we still, at the lowest point, the lowest ebb case, produced a 0.64% return for that week. So there, and it's based on a lot of things. It's based on the batch. It's based on the size of the batch. It's based on the energy sources. And what happens is vintage mining passes that on to NUI. So thank you for that chat, guys. And one thing you know about Casey and I, we're not trying to embellish anything. We're just giving you facts. That number of 1.93 is not a difficult number to get back to once the batches are filled, but it just gives you a 100% return a year. So that means whatever you have in your account, you can pull out a year and still have that in your account. And you can do that for 3 years.
Right. And again, like Jim just shared, everything is strictly an example. Please do your due diligence. Don't invest any money that you can't afford to lose. Jim and I joke about the fact that if you can't burn it right here on the table, don't put it in. And that's really where we come from, because we want people to be safe, and we want people to be compliant in the sense that they actually know what they're getting involved in. They understand the risks involved in cryptocurrency. The upsides are incredible. The downsides are incredible. So we're very transparent about the fact that this is a risk, and the results will speak for themselves based on time. So a couple of things we want to talk about when it comes to the NUI Nation, and specifically NUI Social's compensation system. They came in as a networking company. They have 2 amazing pieces of the puzzle, and Jim and I have been involved in the industry for over 60 years combined. We know compensation, and this is the finest compensation system I've ever seen. Let's review them in 2 parts, and I'll have Jim just kind of jump in as we go through. So first is what we call the personal enrollment network. And for those of you new to this space, basically that means the individuals that you personally enroll. And of course, the personal enrollment network, known as the PEN, you receive a 30% commission for any member you personally enroll. You receive a 10% of any activity that they do from that person that you've enrolled. And each person that you've enrolled does something called an unlock of a tier of compensation, up to 10 tiers, which we're going to show you in the TBS. So what does that mean to you? Well, personally registering 10 people unlocks 100% of the total commissions available in the NUI compensation system. And I want to repeat myself, 10 people registered into NUI unlocks 100% of all the commissions available. So again, you need 10 in the pen. It's a cool phrase Jim created. And unlocking the 10 tiers of compensation can provide significant results due to the power of what we call the auto fill system of the TBS. So let's just recap. PEN is Personal Enrollment Network. You need to receive, if you can get 10 people in the PEN, powerful things happen. Jim, any thoughts?
Yeah, when you, like, I break it down to the simplest thing. Like, what are the things you have to do? You have to fund your account. There's 5 ways to do it. And then you have to put 10 in the PEN. That's your magic. That's your metrics. That's it. You fund your account, you keep adding to it, you can rebuy to compound on your own personal account, but then you put 10 in the PEN. So in the whole entire world, or the United States, I think we're active in 10 countries right now, you got to find a whole 10 people. All right, I know it's limited, it's only hundreds of millions, but you got to find 10 people, and then it unlocks it. And when you look at the TBS, Casey, it makes sense. It makes total sense.
Yeah. And in fact, well, let's jump into it, Jim, because I think the diagram will explain it. The first thing is that the team building structure itself is an auto-fill system, and it really strategically fills in each member. Now, we have a system where they actually goes from a progression of left to right, right to left, team to team, tier to tier. And this was designed with 2 things in mind. Number one, to take care of the individual who said, I want to get my 10 in the PEN. I want to bring my 10 best people to this opportunity. I want them to benefit from it. And as Jim just said, there's so many ways to benefit from just receiving results on your own account. There's a way to get yourself with auto buy, auto rebuys, etc. But this progression system is like nothing I've ever seen. In fact, we created a quick illustration just for everyone to see this really briefly, because it'll show you quickly. Let's say, for example, you get excited, you get active, and let's say, for example, you register your first 3 people. Well, what that does is it goes 1, 2, 3. You can see it goes left to right. And now you've completed 1 tier of compensation. So you've got yourself 1 tier finished, but because you've got 3 personals in, it's actually unlocked 3 tiers. Well, if you continue on to 4, 5, and 6, or let's say 7, 8, 9, or 10, what happens is not only have you filled the first 2 tiers, but you've actually unlocked the other tiers. So as other members bring people in, the thing starts to fill out very, very quickly, because 10 people get 10 people, gets you to 100 people. And of course, the system, they get 10, they get 10. You guys understand the idea of the multiple. So what this does is this computer is designed to autofill. Everyone stays in what we call your PEN, so they're always personally sponsored to you. But where they fall in the TBS could be hundreds of people away from you. It could be thousands of people away from you. The great news is it all counts back to you, because you are part of that team building structure. And this is an amazing piece. Let me just show you the last piece of the math here.
Can you go back to that real quick? Because I want to show them something that if you go back to that other slide, what people don't understand is you see how 1, 2, 3 filled in, but 4 went to team 3, 5 went to team 2, 6 went to team 1, 7 then started again from left to right, 7, then 8 went to team 2. And that's the brilliance of it. This is not a forced matrix. This is a team building system which spreads evenly. So getting 10 in the PEN and being there and then activating your account is everything. Casey, you called me right before the thing. You said, Jim, like, we're talking about, we have a premier program where we believe millions and millions of dollars are going to be funded through that program. But when you look at even this simple thing for a rookie to get involved at the lowest common denominator, and you see what they can earn, Casey, it is really brilliant.
Yeah, Jim. I just finished. I was redoing the presentation, just for tonight's call, and I called you, didn't I, about a half hour ago? And I said, "Dude, you can make $1 million. You can make $1 million doing this." It's like, this is a no brainer. So that
is not a guarantee. That is not a guarantee. That is not a guarantee. We didn't say billion. We said bazillion. No, I'm just kidding.
But here's again the math. One of the things I love about NUI is that this is math. And here's what the commission looks like. So we mentioned in the PEN, you get 10% of the person that you personally enroll. You get 30% of the registration, of course, 10% of any of their activities, and it unlocks the tiers. In the TBS, you get $3 commission for every person you register into your team. You get 2% commission on all purchases of the members below your personally enrolled members down to the 10th tier. That means that everybody who signs up, anybody under your TBS, you get paid 2% of. Now, that's a very large number.
Whatever their initial purchase is and whatever they rebuy.
Exactly. And if they rebuy, you get 2% of that too. Right. So take a look at this. When the autofill starts completing, a couple of things happen. Number one, since you get $3 of every new membership registration, which happens every year, everybody renews for $150 every year, just being in the TBS with 10 in the pen, you get yourself on renewal memberships $265,000 in Bitcoin as a result of that. That's incredible. But watch this, Jim, as you know, to register and make the accounts active. So the registration at $150 gives them access to core and the education system. And of course, you guys know we have the new education program coming. There'll be a subscription for that. But if someone chooses to activate with Mintage Mining and activate that $500 minimum, and I just chose the $500 minimum, the results from the 2% commissions on a 10 in the pen, a full TBS filled out, $500 times 88,000 people would mean that your 2% commission would be $885,000 in Bitcoin a year from just from the auto renewal subscription system and the active membership. Folks, that's $1.151 million in Bitcoin every year for being active in the TBS and 10 in the pen. Jim,
and that's the thing. When you look at that, Casey, when you look at the genius of what Richard created in his compensation plan, really the only thing you have to do is fund your account and put 10 in the pen. And it doesn't, that's all you have to do. If you did that, if we had every person duplicating that in the NUI nation, in the Mintage programs, the wealth that is potentially created is phenomenal.
It's as a person who saw, Jim, when we first arrived and met Darren for the first time, Darren's heart was like, we need to help 1 million people. You get $500 a month. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I think we can do that. And now we know, of course, there's systems to do that. And we have the new education program and people will be on that system. But what about the idea of helping someone not just make $500? What about if we help people make $1 million a year? And I can't tell you how exciting it'll be to actually create the first NUI millionaires through this structure. I just to tell you, this is a big lift for me because it just excites me that we can help people achieve.
And that's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee at all. That is a potential proposal or a pontification of
yes. It's just an example. But again, there is a possibility that if someone actually were willing to focus and build out their network, that was possible. So we put that up there. We wanted to share it with you. The fourth way to, of course, increase your mining account, of course, is with collar rigs. And collar rigs are the heart and the soul of our new product line. They're the first part of our blockchain system. And of course, what we're trying to do is organize 10,000 people to be a part of that first and largest decentralized network of mining rigs in the world, and we're excited to do that. We're working with the original Bitcoin blockchain called the SHA-256 algorithm. That's what we're actually working with. That's what the mining rigs are on, and we're very, very excited that we followed the system that, of course, is proven by time. I
want to say something about that, Casey, if I could. The collar rigs are the secret weapon. That's the thing. I mean, Casey and I have rigs. And even in the first several weeks, we've not only recovered our ROI back for the rigs, we've made thousands of dollars above that, even at the 2 cents mark. Casey, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So when you look at this, now, if you don't know anything about this, I get it. But the collar mining rigs are the secret weapon because they're working. They're just working. They're scaring the cat. You know what I'm saying? They're just, they're heating the house. They're scaring the cat and they're mining collar. And I just got to say, John, Holbrook came in and it was like a wood stove for him because they had so many collar rigs in his house and he was excited and his wife not so much. But when you looked at the result of that, I mean, they're churning and turning collar. And when we go to market and then the market makers take us on the exchanges, he who has the most collar coin is going to be pretty happy.
For sure. And again, this slide simply says we're currently at 2 cents. That's as a result of the initial offering. The potential says that we can go from 2 cents to a much larger value. We don't know what that is, but we know that that's a NUI nation. That's thousands, that's tens of thousands, that's hundreds of thousands of people who are inside of NUI using the services of Mintage Mining. They're a part of Core and they're getting Kala and they're part of the decentralized network. There's a lot of beautiful pieces here. So we're very, very grateful. And again, we don't know where it's going to go, but we suspect that it could definitely get to an interesting number. There are 2 ways to participate in the sale of Kala mining rigs. And of course, really there's receive a commission from the sale of the rig. And then of course, the ability to mine your own Kala coin, which Jim Jim just talked about. Now, there are details about the Kala coin. You can see them here. You'll need to do your own research on this, but basically we replicated everything that Bitcoin did because it's already successful. And right now we're in the middle of our second group of mining rigs. They're available for $4,000. The targeted ROI for each mining rig is approximately 64 days right now. And, this is a huge opportunity if you're looking to participate in blockchain, cryptocurrency, you want to be a part of a network, then the Kala rigs really make sense. And again, please do your research and make sure that this is the right thing for you. But, funding with the Kala rigs gets interesting because we have a bonus. Obviously, if you're the person that registers someone personally and they purchase a Kala rig, you'll receive a $250 one-time bonus in your pen, what we know the personal enrollment network. Also receive $40 commissions all the way down. If you have 10 people in your pen, you get 40 times 40 times 40 times 40, 10 levels down for any Kala rig sold throughout your TBS. So again, just tremendous opportunity here for you to profit from Kala rigs.
So we got a chat from John, and his chat was true dat with a piece of fire.
Thank you, John.
Case, I got to say something real quick and have some fun here because we're sitting there and we're so busy, and all of a sudden we go look at our rigs because you can see what they're producing on the back office, and we're like, dang, God. I mean, if that even goes to a nickel, it's going to be exciting. Anyway, go ahead, Case. I'm sorry.
Mama's going to get a new pair of shoes.
Yes, Mama's going to get a couple of new pair of shoes.
Excellent. So the final program we'll just mention briefly is the partnership with a company that's created something called My Account Accelerator. They're powered by a company called Fundwise. These guys have put together an opportunity for you to leverage other people's money. It's not for everybody. Please do your due diligence with them. Make sure that you go in and you study, you ask questions, and make sure you fully understand what this is. But what they've done is they've said, listen, if you have a credit score 650 or better, you may qualify for this. You can give it a chance. We did have some first NUI kind of beta testers went through, and a number of them received over $50,000 of funding. And just to share with you what happened for these individuals, they actually have done the 75% risk tolerance where they're withdrawing 1 week and they're depositing, they're purchasing in 3 weeks. Their 50,000 mining units will actually return 144,000 mining units in the first 3 years. And then the next 3 years, they still have 418,000 working for them. So individuals who actually use the Account Accelerator program can anticipate somewhere in the returns, as you said. These, please do your own research. Please make sure you understand this yourself. Do this research and obviously err on the weaker side. These are the numbers that we've seen where, 50,000 mining units could turn into over $1 million of results. So I want
to say something here, Casey, too, is that we have really worked with the Account Accelerator and Fundwise to really message to NUI what you're getting. And what I want to do is make sure that when you go in and there's times other people's money is perfect and there's times not so much, but realize there's a risk towards that. There's a risk associated with that. And if you understand the risk, then Fundwise is very good at training you, helping in the support, letting you know what to do, coaching you through it. And then they also have another program, Casey, that accelerates into a business model that you can actually create an EIN, a company, and then get company funding too. So it's pretty exciting.
In fact, Jim, as you know, one of the reasons why we were excited about Fundwise and some of the things these guys were doing was because they were taking people from their personal loans to business loans, which of course fits directly into our Pyramid program, which of course, we've just talked about. So really, we look at Account Accelerator as the 3 is the new 30, which takes most people 30 years to produce an income. You can actually produce in just 3 years with NUI, mintage, of course, and account accelerations, et cetera. So I guess it's time to really talk about the new options and ways to enroll. There are 6 ways. We have the free membership, which is you're just visiting, becoming a member, you're part of the family, professional, you're ready to play, elite, you're a leader who sees it. We've got an executive, you're all in. There's a 3 is a new 30. And we also have a premier offer that's obviously invitation only, and we'll share that at the end. But, as a free member, we just want people to check us out, obviously see who we're being. There's, access to core reach programs, limited access to the back office, really no training, and there's really no business building opportunity. You're just a part of seeing the inside and kind of connecting with us and seeing where we're at. The opportunity really begins with membership. True, Jim?
Yep, exactly.
And what this does is it unlocks your back office. It unlocks the training portal. It unlocks the mintage mining. It does all the things we need to do. We really need you to be a part of the family. And of course, that unlocked the compensations from Penn and TBS. And of course, at this time, once you become a member for limited time in the next little while, since we're trying to decentralize the network, we're making collar rigs available as an add-on item during the enrollment, which is pretty exciting and pretty powerful. So the annual subscription is $150, and you'll need to make a one-time purchase of 500 mining units at mintage to make your account active, and then you can weekly rebuy with 100 mining units to kind of keep everything in motion. So
I want to add one thing here,
please,
Case. Yeah. This is where you get the Ant router. You get that one delivered to you, and the Ant router does mine. It is associated with mining the Kala coin, and you will get Kala coin every month from your Ant router.
That's right. And of course, you'll need to activate your Kala wallet. And of course, that wallet is yours and independent. And you'll have your first cryptocurrency wallet if you don't already have one. So excellent. Professional, as you're ready to play, everything stays the same in a membership, except we take you up a couple of notches. Number one, we introduce you to professional calls. And we actually get you to purchase 1,000 mining units, which of course gives you the Ant router, as Jim just shared. And just shows that you're ready to play at a little bit higher level. You really want, kind of move yourself to the more successful level. And then elite, your leader that sees it. Once again, it moves up in compensation, gives you access to the collar rig purchase. And of course, there's an elite call that happens for individuals who are really helping us get the word out at the elite level. Of course, you're now 2,500 mining units in. And then, of course, what we call the executive. And Jim, this is really where it begins if you're serious about NUI. Would you agree?
Well, here's the thing, Casey. I mean, and I understand there's rookies and there's people at all different financial parts of their life. And I don't know about you, Casey, every time I had a win, I had to risk, the risk, you had to see if the risk was worth the reward. And so when you look at the what we call the legacy team, the top tier of that is the executive, and that gives you a taste of everything: the 3-year mining, a collar rig. It gives you everything, the training. And what we did, and it's beautiful. If that's a stretch for some people, but other people look at that and say, "What else is there?" Jim and Casey, what else is there? I want to go in this thing. I want to build in this thing. I want to live in this thing. I trust what NUI is doing. I trust the blockchain. I want to get involved in Kala, but I want to do it on a bigger level. And this is a great top end for the legacy positions. But then, Case, we created a team and a concept. I think we're going to this next, called the Premier. And guys, this is all I'm going to say about this. I haven't even seen the next slide, Case, if there is. Here, but when you look at the Premier, okay, it is NUI. It's all NUI. It's only NUI. There's no different teams. We're not NUI plus one. We're not NUI plus one. We're not NUI. We're not NUI. We're NUI. We're all NUI. But what we did when we jumped in, Case, we said, you know what? We need to have something for everybody. We need to have free membership. We need to have a member that's only $150 or $650 total to get involved. Then we have 1,000 point mark, and then a 2,600 and a 67. But then we would be remiss to look at the people right now that have created a lot of wealth in their lifetime and want to put that in a place where it's safe, secure, compliant, that has a robust potential. And we literally created the Premier team. And those of you that are on this call tonight, if you have any history in network marketing, if you have any history where you wanted that one shot, that big shot to do something, I would say this is your stretch. This is really your stretch. And the whole thing about Premier is that we have separate Premier calls because we talk about different stuff. We talk about the latest and greatest. We talk about the latest offering that Dave has, what he's making the most returns on, and in mintage mining. And because it's in a Premier position, Casey, we're allowed to be a little bit more liberal in our offerings because these are more sophisticated, not, I want to say investors, but they get it. They get it. They understand the risk reward. But what we've done for a period of time, we made it very simple for NUI leaders to transition in this in the next few weeks. The end of the NUI leader discount is going to end on September the 15th. But I would pay attention to this program for sure, Casey.
Yeah. And again, this is a beta test where we said, if we could just start anew with people who are really looking for a faster ROI. They're looking for 100% blockchain. They understand the power of decentralizing network. They have a long play on call a coin. This just makes sense. And they're like, how do I get involved at a more premier level, so to speak? And of course, again, please, if you have any questions about this, please reach out to us by email or connect directly to your sponsor. If they've got the information, they can get you the information about participating in the premier position. If they have not already contacted you, you can call them now or connect with them and say, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about Premier? You can see here that there's an entry point for legacy members. If you are on this call and currently have a NUI membership, then you qualify for the 7150 membership entry point. If you are not a NUI member, then the entry point is actually 21,000 to be a part of this. Now, please understand that this is designed for people who can, Jim used the word sophisticated, people who actually can afford to, at a social economic level where they can afford to take a risk with these type of numbers. And again, if that's not you, please, you can ignore this. This is designed for individuals who do have the ability to build networks. They're networkers by profession. They want to participate at a bigger level. And they're like, you know what? I really want to be a part of this NUI Nation thing. And Jimmy,
okay,
final thoughts?
Add something to that real quick. When you look at that, TBS system with the $500 renew, and then you look at it with a 7150 minimum or a 21.8 renew, same numbers, just way different results. And I was talking to somebody in Mike's office today, and they were very excited about being in the Premier program. And then she said, what's the best value of Premier? Well, the Premier, not only is it the value that we get because of the offering, there is a new offering that is called Server X that we're beta testing right now. But you know what it's really about there, Case? It's like McDonald's. McDonald's is not about hamburger. It's about real estate. And in the Premier positions, because we're just launching it, those first 500 to 1,000 positions are the best real estate in the network marketing planet, because that real estate, that position, has the potential to produce for years and years and years at a higher level than most people will ever naturally get to.
Absolutely. In fact, the other thing I didn't put on this application here, Jim, is that when they register, now just go back to the previous slide here so that everyone can see it. They actually get two businesses. So they get to keep their legacy business, which you can have registered in your personal name. In order to be involved in Premier, you actually have to have a business EIN number. That means that if you don't have a business right now, or a company and or an LLC of some sort, or S Corp, if you don't have that, in the next 30 days, we have a window of time where we allow people to sign up personally, but eventually you have to transfer over to a business EIN number, because Premier is a more business mindset strategy. And that's why when we worked with the Account Accelerator people from Fundwise, we said, we need to move people from having money involved with them at a personal level to a business level, and transferring that, that debt load over to a business. And so please know that in order to participate in Premier, you cannot participate personally. You must have a company to participate in Premier.
An EIN, and we'll show you how to do that. And if you don't have it initially, that's not a problem. And remember, guys, those of you on the call tonight, is that we have the 22nd, next Wednesday, is the drop dead on the first offering. Then September 5th is the drops date on the 7150. So there's a sense of urgency now. Applications are flooding in. We just had calls for 2 or 3 more cases. So this is it. This is the brilliance of this case, is we offer everything. I mean, think about it. Free membership all the way to Kala mining rigs, mining a coin that's on the SHA 256. You can't buy the Kala right now for 2 cents. The only way you can get Kala is to mine it. To the blockchain technology, to a decentralized network with the Ant routers, plus, with new offerings from Dave at Mintage Mining. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. And what I want to tell people is that just take a breath and enter at the place that you have peace with, and then jack it up a little bit, and then just jack it up a little bit to the next level, and you're going to be glad you did.
Yeah, for sure. So that's, tonight, again, we're here just to kind of continue to give you that overview. Jim just mentioned there is a limited time on that Premier. So if you do have an interest, please reach out. Everything we talked about tonight, again, available through the blogs, the information. You can reach out to customer service. We know that there's some different issues going on in back office. We're on it. If you can only imagine how much has changed from our side and what we're trying to deliver to make it the very best offer for you. we're just doing the very best we can. And, tonight we're running a little longer than we normally do, but we did want to remind you of the amazing opportunity that's really at hand. And it's a pleasure to be on tonight. I hope that you guys picked up some of the amazing opportunities that are really sitting inside of NUI, Legacy, and Premier, and the overall vision of blockchain that we have to take to the world. So, Jim, any final thoughts?
I just want to thank Big Juan for the closed captioning. I'm reading in Spanish, and I'm learning Spanish while I'm making money in blockchain. Guys, you are a blessing, man. Let's crush this. Let's just go after this with everything we have. It's getting ready to get big real quick, and you're a big part of it. God bless.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for being on tonight, and we appreciate you all. Have an amazing night, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.